Yeah, it's under the Ask Ashley K at Ashley Crumple. Perfect. You poor peeps. I feel bad. Oh. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to probably re-snap this then, huh?
I just shared.
You did? And I have all my anchor peeps on there. See, and I can't get into Twitter on this phone. I'm working with like 4 phones right now, too. It's stupid. Okay, you're going to have to hang tight for just a minute. Let me see here. I'm trying to share it, peeps. Anybody else here? I'm trying to reboot this and share it. This is so silly. Why is it texting me?
They not only did they talk about themselves, but they shared a lot about where they were. So
yeah, I've definitely invited Chocolate Johnny too because I love how he likes to walk on the beach and I want to see the beach. And I have Yo Pickles on board too, and she's gonna actually be traveling that day, so she wants to do, like a morning one and a night one. Her from 2 countries, so that should be pretty awesome.
I'm just trying to think of the people that I know that are overseas. The Victoria Taylor UK is a big one. That she was just in Manchester at where Brian Fanzo was at a conference, and so
that's awesome. I love Brian Fanzo. Let me get him on here.
Do you think that we could work with this Snap the Map lady? Do you think she'd be interested?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's been. I mean, all of her Snap stories are really friendly, so I definitely think that she'd be down.
What is her Twitter?
Go ahead.
Jeremy put it up there, but there's also one just Snap the Map.
Okay, Snap.
Which sounds pretty cool. Amazing.
Man, I'll tell you, you should not start projects like this right when you get new technology, because I had an iPhone 16 gig that was constantly crapping out, and I was on Verizon's network, which has no data. So I had to switch to AT&T, and then I did last night, and I got this Samsung S7 Edge or whatever, which I like it. It's cool, but there's no Blab. There's no those codes. So I stole my husband's phone too. I'm like, nope, you can't take that to work. I need it today. So now I'm going to get another one. But it's still worth it. I was
looking for her personal Twitter. I didn't see it.
What is the hack again for ghost codes, Ashley?
Okay, so if you go onto Ghost Codes and then you go to your interest group, we're creating kind of these secret hidden ghost code clubs by changing one of your interests to global snap swap as one word. And then everybody who's in that interest group there is taking part, watching, maybe somebody who can help be in it, whatever it might be. That's how we're doing that part.
So you're just adding that interest all as one word?
Yep, all as one word. You should. I think as of last night, there was like 2 or 3 people that had gotten into it. So
there's now 5.
Oh, look at that!
Oh, it pre-populated as an ad, so there's enough for.
Yeah. And then I also have, which I should copy and send the link to that. I created an event page on my Facebook account, and that one got a lot of hits, actually. It's got maybe 100 people or so interested in it, and then where is it here? Yeah.
I haven't been doing anything with ghost codes, and it's amazing. I went from like 17 to 380.
Right? You know what though? When I go on ghost codes now, I like to go to the bottom and give some love to the people that don't have any love.
Well, that's me, because it takes forever to get to 380 now. I remember when like 60 was something big.
Right? I thought I was bomb when I got to 100.
Yeah.
Yay.
There's just so much heart for heart stuff going on. I turned off notifications. I couldn't.
I call people out for that all day long. When I get a message, it says, hey, I hearted you on Watch and Watch. Can you heart me? Straight up, I say, no, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Why don't you try to say hello first?
And so I've got 106 people have downloaded my snap code. And all of my snap stories are like 9, 10 people, all the same people
that watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys seen much of a conversion, like from ghost codes into actually like people watching your story, or is it just noise?
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Like a big transition, or is it just like another 5, but yet you've added 100 people have been added to you, but yet only 5 are watching or something like that?
I didn't see a lot. Like there's a couple of people. I try and engage the people that follow me right away and send them a direct snap to try and get them to watch. But I think that there's still a lot of just farming for hearts right now is my impression. But I don't have, really compelling content at the time. So some of it may be I'm not entertaining enough.
I like that heart farming.
Yeah.
That's true. And you know what I really like though is on Anchor, Ghost Codes has a Anchor account now, and they give us updates and stuff on what's expected to come about. So it's cool to hear a voice kind of behind the creators and hear what their intent is and what they got going on. That's awesome. Okay, so here's my event. Yeah, my event's got. Holy buckets. Somebody else must have invited some people because I know I didn't invite 1,200 people. Oh my God, there's 1,169 people maybe going. Whoa. Blowing up on the Facebook.
There's a guy at work that's a big Jeep guy, and he's got a brand in Jeeps, and I keep trying to talk him into doing snap swaps. I'm like, that's a perfect crowd. You know, you've got these people that are going out on the weekends and taking their 4x4 and going Jeeping. I'm like, you've got to get people doing snap swaps all over the country. That'd be huge.
Right? I think so too. And you know what else I was thinking? I have a friend of mine that's a realtor. And I'm thinking like Snapchat open houses. Just a rolling cycle of, hey, you want to see this house? Look, you don't even have to get out of your house to come and look at what we've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Gary put up a article today on Medium and on his blog about real estate and Snapchat and how they can best utilize it.
Shut up. I swear to God, he's stalking me. I just kidding.
Stalking everyone.
Well, as soon as I write something, all of a sudden, like a few minutes later, there he is talking about it. I'm like, dude, come on, no. Okay, so there we go. I got a copy to the post. So now let's go bring this up. Perfect. Okay, so there I just put in a link. That's a link to the event page on Facebook. And there's quite a few people in there. And then I've also got it linked to Nick V. And then I have a couple other ones. And then Brian Fanzo just snapped me. So maybe he'll come on and join us with this. Who knows?
I haven't got it, James.
This is just like too much. Wow. That's really cool though.
I just invited my friend in Chile.
Yeah.
Oh, another iFoodie Cafe in Dublin.
iFoodie Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, I have to be off. I have to get some sleep tonight. It is 4:00 now.
I like that though. At least, hey, how did your snap swap go today?
With Taylor?
Yeah.
No, that will be tomorrow. So it'll be like 10:00 for me.
Oh.
So it'll be like tonight for you
It
guys.
hasn't been that many hours since I spoke to you last.
It'll be like, I think we only spoke at like 7 or 6 or something.
Well, it was like 2 a.m. here, so I'm not sure when it was there. What did you say the name was for the Dublin person? Oh, Foodie Cafe. Okay.
Spelled properly, not F-O-D-D. F-O-O-D.
Perfect.
What's his name? He's an Englishman that's in Brazil. Ben Levermore Design. He's got really good snap stories. I'll add him in there.
Perfect.
That's a snap name.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's been one of the things that's been really enjoyable about Snap is seeing all these people.
So, Jeremy, where are you from?
I'm in Dallas.
Dallas, huh? That's where my dad's at. Mr. John Walters.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. I'm a Walters. My mom or my grandma is Barbara Walters.
Oh, there you go.
Kind of funny, huh? He's right in Colleyville.
Yep, I work in Grapevine, so not too far from Colleyville. I live in Arlington, in the shadow of the stadium.
That's not bad, though. Okay, I'm trying to find these people. I'm like, I have no problem chasing people down. I can do that. And between this and the Anchor platform, are you on Anchor?
No, I've never heard of it.
Anchor is really cool. In fact, I think Anchor is part of the reason that the ghost codes started to get a lot of attraction, because on Anchor, it's a audio profile where you can speak to people in little short audio clips. And they created the Ghost Code Club Hack, where they told everybody to put their interest as napping. And then if, a week later, you open up the napping group and it's all like 1.2 thousand likes and like these high profile people. And they're like, interesting amount of nappers around here.
Yeah.
So we put these fun interests on there. And then the Anchor community, because they really do interact together a lot. I love the Anchor peeps. They get in there and take it over, kind of. We show them who's boss. And what I love about it now is that the Ghost Code app designers have started a Anchor account, and they go on there and they tell us about the updates and what's coming and what's going. And
is that just Anchor.com? INKER?
Nope, ANCHOR, but it's only on iPhone right now.
I've got a new 6.
And then you can divide yourself into categories, like marketing or whatever it might be. Yeah, Nick Sharma is going to be one of them too. Oh, yeah. See, I got booted down.
Radio by the people, right?
Yes. Exactly. And that's where we're doing that global snap swap interest group.
Cool. I got to run. My lunch at work is up, but I'll lurk here for a little bit and set up Anchor.
Cool.
Adios.
Have you on. Oh, no, I'm all alone. Sorry. Figure it out. Lily Loves. She is from... Wolfman. Come on to my Blab. Exclamation point. Does anybody else talk to text? I always do. I always talk to text. Always. want to come on and chat with me? Because I don't want to hang here alone. Come on, dude. Call in. Yeah, right. And I had a bunch of people that had responded to my original post this morning at 10 a.m. And then kaput. It broke. I couldn't get it to work.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Yeah. Good.
I tried to tune in like an hour ago, and then
Dude, I broke it.
Yeah, you did. I was just sitting there forever, and it said you were like loading and loading and loading. I was like, all right. I waited like 15 minutes. I was like, all right, I guess I'm out.
Well, you know, and that's totally the way that the cream crops too. You know, because I had posted it at 10 a.m. I put it on Anchor, and I thought, well, that's good. I'll give people a little bit of time to hopefully be able to fit it in. And then the next thing that I know, nope, you don't get to do it. So
Blab is not the most fully functional app. It's got a lot of problems.
Yeah, it's still in beta. But where else can you go and have like a call-in conference call type thing where you can just talk to whoever you want to?
Oh, yeah, it's great for sure.
Yeah.
But
for sure.
It's got issues.
Right? Yeah. So we're gathering up countries, though. We're doing good.
Cool. What are you up to?
Well, considering that I have them written down in 4 different places, I don't actually have an exact number yet, but I'm thinking we're around about 15 or 20.
Cool.
And a lot of people that are interested in reaching out to their contacts and saying, you know, like, I have friends here, here, and here. And I'm like, great. You know, have them snap me, or, you know, I did one of those Ghost Code clubs for Global Snap Swap.
Sweet deal.
So everybody who's in that interest group is going to be a participant. And I have Ukraine, Scotland, Melbourne, Haiti, New Zealand, Korea, a couple other ones.
Oraton. Hey, did you ever get Ross, the guy from Ireland I told you about?
No.
Okay. I sent him a snap, and I made a wave, and I tagged him in it, so hopefully he heard about it.
Yeah. I figure so long as we can just kind of share it, I think that the news is kind of getting out. And then we found out about a Snapchat TV, kind of. There's another lady in the UK who does Snap the Map.
Rachel Acton, yeah.
Oh, you know her. Yeah, perfect.
She's on Anchor.
What's her last name?
Acton, Acton.
Okay.
She's mainly on Snapchat, but I found her on Anchor.
I love Anchor.
She has like 3 Snapchat accounts.
Really? I know I have 2. It's getting annoying.
Yeah, she's got the Snap the Snap the Map thing. She's got her It's a Snap TV, and then she's got Marketing UK something or other.
Really?
She might even have more, but I've only found 3 of them. I don't know how she handles all that. It's kind of crazy.
I hear that right there. I have like 4 Twitter accounts now for some reason. And usually it's just because I get locked out of one or something.
Really?
So I'm like, oh, whatever. And now, though, I'm getting them all backtracked and backwards. Like I created that Blab under the female founder account. And then when I tried to get back in to start it, I was logged in on this account. And so it was having me like start as a joiner. And I'm like, wait, no. I need to actually run it. So
more Twitter accounts, more problems. That's what they say.
Right. That's true. So what do you do? What else do you do?
You mean besides sit on the internet and talk to strangers?
Yeah. You know?
No, not much.
Yeah, no, me neither.
I'm a videographer and photographer primarily, and I work with primarily one company. It's a martial arts company. It's a martial arts media company, and I go and create cool content with the athletes that they sponsor from around the world.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. It's my main thing.
And you're in Wisconsin?
Yeah, Madison.
Ooh, Madison, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's a busy part. That's cool. My grandpa taught at Madison for 20 years or something like that.
Wow.
Madison, yeah.
Cool.
Chemistry professor.
Sweet. Recent, like, did he retire recently? Is he still teaching, or?
No, he retired. Yeah, he taught there from probably like the 80s to, well, probably like mid 70s to the early 90s, and then he transferred to Northfield, Minnesota, and he taught at St. Olaf for another 12 or 15. So he's retired now, and that's John the second, maybe, and he's married to Barbara Walters.
What?
It's my grandma, Barbara Walters.
Wow. Okay. Sweet.
Not the Barbara Walters, though.
Oh,
but
come on.
That's her name.
Oh, whatever. All right. That's
not a lie.
That's way less cool. You had me going. All right, fine. That's still all right. I'm sure she's a great lady. I was like, what are you doing on here? You should be on TV. Just ask your grandma to get you on TV and put this project together.
Right? I have been on TV, though, before.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
America's Most
Wanted? I was on Say Yes to the Dress.
Okay. Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
2010, I was on Say Yes to the Dress. And
big deal.
Yeah, they made us super funny, so it was awesome. I really liked it.
That's awesome. My girlfriend loves that show.
Yeah. It's a good show. I love it too. And then I just started my own company here. So I do social impact branding.
Yeah.
I help small businesses, entrepreneurs, whoever, create a strategic online presence that they can monetize from.
I love it.
Yeah. Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. And then because I'm just a natural gabber and I have this big, massive network, I started outsourcing work through my network and connecting people who could easily have mutually beneficial relationships. And from there, I've actually created another business concept where I'm putting a lot of those together now, trying to get them set up as like a prototype, because I want to do that based on big data analysis and identifying synchronicities and create a huge, giant next generation web app where it will be like Uber meets Angie's List with Airbnb.
All right, you lost me, but it sounds cool.
Come on, keep up. Don't lose it.
Angie's List and Airbnb. So, like, if I need to stay at a hotel, but I need an apartment, but my plumbing's not working, I can hit a button and I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. You would put up there what you need done, your job or your demand, because it's basically a site where demand meets supply on any level, literally. Like a middleman connection point, so you can bypass all the corporate BS. So, and then using big data and, using these different.
So it's like Angie's List more, but just more easier.
Like Upwork, but for everything, including things that you would see on Angie's List.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then I've even got like a e-learning program in there too. So
hot dog.
It's massive, dude. We'll see if I can pull it off. And if I can't, it's all right. I mean, my first product that I've launched is doing well. I've got a full round of clients. I got my hands full and I'm branching out some work. So
what's your full round of what's your product?
Social impact branding, helping people create profiles.
So it's a service.
Yeah.
So it's like like a consulting service.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it's like a
but I think of it as a product, as like creating an actual thing for them, whereas the service would be connecting them together. Like networking. So I'm a professional networker.
Yeah, sweet.
Is that a thing?
Well, on Blab, that's a thing on Blab.
This thing is not even working. Why am I looking like the wrong place?
What do you mean?
It looks like I have cross eyes because I'm looking at the screen.
Oh, I definitely have that all the time. One person's called me out once on Blab, and I was actually really thankful. I was like, thanks for noticing my lazy eyes. No one ever calls me out.
Too, so it's okay.
I don't think you can. I can't see it right now.
I can't see it. Watch, I bet I can make mine go.
It's impressive.
That's like creepy, kind of. I can do it on demand, which is definitely kind of weird.
That's not really a lazy eye. That's like a It's like a working eye.
It's a work it when you want to work it eye.
Right. Yeah, sure.
So I have another question for you. Since you're in Wisconsin, which is not really that far from me.
Yeah.
And I've been, Taylor K in Denver?
Yes.
Yes. Have you heard about that meetup that he's trying to organize in September?
Yes, actually, I met him in person and we promoted it together.
Really? Oh, well, then apparently I'm one step behind. So are you going then?
I'm gonna try. Yeah.
Okay, so there was another person that posted something about that yesterday that I heard on Anchor, and she's going to be here from like Ireland or something. And she's like, oh, well, Chicago's not very far from Denver. I should extend my trip and go there. And I'm like, well, actually, honey, Chicago is kind of far from Denver. And the train systems are not the same here as they are in the UK. It's not like nice and easy and, mind the gap.
Right.
But I'm in Minneapolis. I want to go. She's in Chicago. I've got my first business partners in Chicago. And actually, when I open a second office, that's where it'll be. And you're in Madison. So I'm thinking, like Anchor Crew Road Trip. And I have a minivan.
No, I'm flying.
You're weak. One day.
No, I can't do that. I can't drive to Denver. I don't have that much free time. I gotta fly in if I'm gonna do it.
Weak. It's so much more fun. Could you imagine the story though?
Oh my
God. Meeting of the people.
It would be.
We could pick up some more randos on the way and make it like a week-long trip.
That would be insane. The reason I'm like hesitant though is that I'm really kind of stupid busy in September. So like I have one weekend, my friend's wedding. I'm in his wedding.
Oh yeah,
in Madison, and the following weekend, there's another wedding I'm going to in Philadelphia, and then the following weekend would be this Denver thing, and then like the following weekend, I think I'm going to like London or something. So
what?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna have like it's gonna be tough to squeeze it in. So I can't. Yeah, I can't try.
Fly in then. You'll be like one of those people that drops in for the day, takes a flight out for the day to say hello, and then takes off.
Yeah.
I'm not that cool yet.
A couple days. Well, luckily my brother actually lives in Denver, so it's not too bad. Like if I need a place to stay, I just crash on his couch or whatever. So.
Oh, for sure. Well, I'm already planning on staying at Taylor K's. He's my big brother now.
Oh, sweet.
We've been friends on Anchor for like a week, so he's officially.
Well, that's enough. Yeah. Yeah, we met in. We did a meetup, like an Anchor meetup. Like he saw me on Snapchat or Anchor or something, and he saw that I was in Denver visiting my brother like a month or two ago. And he just kept hitting me up on Twitter, on Snapchat, on Anchor, my email. And I gave him my number. Then he called me, and he's like, "Hey, man, let's meet up." I was like, "All right, cool." So we met, and we like had a couple beers, and he's like, "Let's do this meetup thing." And then we drunkenly recorded this wave, trying to get people to join the meetup. And it was awesome. It was a really good night. And then he took me over to his buddy's house. Like he had this like super wealthy friend that was like moving out. This apartment, this loft. It was like this massive loft in downtown Denver, and it was a weird, crazy night. It was fun.
Those are like epic stories, though. You know what I mean? That's what life is made of. Are situations like that and these random occurrences. I'm so for those kind of things. And people have always said, Ashley, you're going to get hurt, or Ashley, you talk to too many people. And I'm like, no, I've got a pretty good judgment of character for one. And for two, that's how you get to like expand your mind and learn about things. And
for sure. Yeah.
My dad was transferred to London when I was in high school for a year and a half. And originally when I found out about it, I was like, well, I'm going to go to London and go to school for sure. Well, then I found out that I would have had to repeat my junior year, which was absolutely not happening to a high school girl. So I still got to fly out there, though, on the company's ticket like every 6 weeks.
Nice.
Granted, I couldn't go every 6 weeks, but I went a lot. And I'm 16 years old, and I'm I'm going out to London. My dad goes to work, and he thinks that I'm out on Leicester Square, Piccadilly Circus, doing some tourism things. No. I'm making friends. I'm taking trains 45 minutes into the suburbs of the UK. I'm like kicking it with these people, trying to see what it's like in their culture.
Sure.
And then I go home, and when I come back, I hit them up again. And I'm like, hey, remember me? So then I was still hanging out with them. And by the time that he left, a year and a half later, I had spent I don't know, 4.5, maybe 5 months total out there. And every time I was taking the train 45 minutes into northern UK to hang it with my buddies. And he thought I was like downtown London watching a play or something.
That's awesome. That's fun.
Yeah, I was a brave little girl, but it was fun.
Well, you know what? I think out there, isn't 16 pretty much an adult?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely considered an adult.
Yeah. So
I was getting my belly button pierced and stuff.
Oh, dang.
I remember my mom goes, "Where'd you get that done? That's illegal. I'm going to sue him." And I was like, good luck with that one.
I could have done it in Sheffield.
Yeah. I got it done right off of the Piccadilly Circus.
Sweet. Yeah, I get to go to London about once a year for the past couple of years. So I get to
for
what's that?
For what? Or just because you're awesome? Or what?
Yeah, just because I got a ticket in the mail that says you're awesome. You get to go to London once a year.
Hey, you know what? That was meant for my house. So if you could just go ahead and forward that, that'd be great.
Oh, sure, no problem. Just got my picture on it. That's all. But yeah,
it's got your picture.
It's I go there for work. For the company I work with, the martial arts company. We host an event out there every year, and I just go do video projects and photo shoots and help run the event, basically. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
That's super cool. I would totally be on Anchor then, trying to find out who my next new London friend would be for your next trip.
Yeah. Well, the problem with these stupid trips, though, they're not stupid, but it's that I just don't have the free time to like hang out. There's really no hangout time.
Yeah,
it's like I know a lot of people in London, and a lot of people like I know from the internet, but I've just never got around to actually like meet them in person, and I always feel bad. So I'm like, yeah, man, I'm here, but I can't see you next time. See you in a year. Yeah, kind of sucks. Actually,
yeah,
was it 2 years ago? I went out there. It wasn't for business. It was just for me and my dad. We went out there for Christmas, and I posted a picture on Instagram of Big Ben. And then this kid I've never met before, he followed me on Instagram. He's like, "Are you in London right now?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, come out to this event that we're doing tomorrow." I was like, "All right." And it happened to be like a 5-minute train ride from the hotel. And I was like, so I just spent the whole day.
You say no, right?
Yeah. And it was in like a community of people that like were all in the same circle. So I knew, or they knew of me from like, so it was actually really cool just to hang out with everybody. They weren't like 100% strangers. We all got along. It was a blast. Like, it's amazing what social media can do.
Right?
If you go somewhere, you're just like, "Hey, I'm here," and then people that come out of the woodworks are like, "Let's meet up." Like Taylor, same thing. It's awesome.
I've always been, slightly careful and cautious a little bit of my social media presence, just because I had little kids, and right after high school, I went to ASU and I partied a lot. So I was like, I'm not opening a Twitter account. Something will get on there that I can never get off. Sure. And so I finally graduated with my degree when I was 8 months pregnant with my third kid. And when I took the first year off, and then this September, I started looking for a job. So I joined LinkedIn, and, I pumped up my profile and everything. And then I started going out and job searching, and I would track it, like with posts and hashtags. And that's when I started my Twitter account of how many weeks into my job search I was. And then about 10, 12 weeks in, after, 70 applications and not a whole lot of response, I decided that wasn't working and to change my approach. So I started hashtagging it as personal branding. And I started getting into the Minneapolis area and trying to meet a lot of the people that worked for the companies that I, thought I wanted to work for, and find out what they were doing, how they liked it. And I kept doing that for a while longer, and I kept following it. And I managed to kind of accidentally grow a LinkedIn network from 600 people around Christmas time when I took a little break to just under 3,000 by President's Day in February.
I was going to say, I don't know when President's Day is, but okay, cool, February. That's awesome.
Super fast, and I didn't request those out, but I started writing on there, and I wrote from the heart, and I was real. I was just totally me. I didn't cover nothing up. I didn't try to sound good for anybody. And I called out a lot of the BS that I saw in the way that the marketplace and the business world was working.
Yeah.
And so many people were like, yeah. And then I took that trip, it was like mid-February to go to Texas. And I'm like, dude, I've got a network of 3,000 people that showed up in like 90 days, less than 90 days. And that's not something a lot of people can do. And I didn't even do it on purpose. So that's when I kind of took a step back and I was like, you know what? I think that this is a bigger thing here. And that's when I created this business concept. And so I bought socialimpactbranding.com and created this elaborate 5-point vertical scheme and, not scheme, but plan. And 2 days later, Ken Knight, the owner of the Nike, released a $400 million grant to Stanford University to increase more innovative and creative thinking. Oh, Snap the Map is coming on. Thanks. Oh, wait, no, that's something else.
Oh, now they feel bummed.
Yeah, so when I stopped and kind of took a look back and I looked at it, I created this huge plan, right? So then, blah, 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 the Stanford University, he released a $400 million grant to increase more innovative and creative thinking regarding social impact.
Yeah.
And that's my .com. And then, like, when Gary Vaynerchuk and all them talk about this next generation web and this next generation platform and how it works, like, legitimately, I have the business concept behind it that will push it and work it. And so for the last 30, 40 days, that's all I've been doing nonstop. And I've managed to make a lot of pretty significant partnerships along the way. I'm partnered up with a technology company in Colorado. I'm an actual legitimate C Corp in Delaware right now. I have an attorney that submitted a preliminary patent process for me on the business concept. I have a company that I'm trying to acquire that started 2 years ago, and they've already processed through $125 million in revenue for their clients. And I'm trying to purchase it for equity in my company. But there's a lot of grief when you're trying to be like, no, I'm going to buy it and I'm not going to pay a dime. I'm going to give them equity in my company that's just starting. Right. People are like, you can't do that. But him and I both agree, so we're trying to kind of battle the system and be like, well, why not? Okay, it's his company. He says yes. It's my company. I say yes. Like, we're on the same page. I mean, it turns out he's my second cousin that I've met like twice in my life. I didn't even know what he was doing until after I'd formed this concept. And then my dad's like, oh, you should call your cousin Jack. Well, he's this 47-year-old man who got laid off 2 years ago. And we obviously have the same kind of mind. It runs in the blood. So then I pitch him with this and he's like, amazing, yes. So now he works for me. He's already established, like, he's a town hero where he's at in Woodstock, Illinois. And he's been reached out to by the Illinois governor to create or to teach this content in the college system. So he's teaching it right now. So we're getting those materials copyrighted. And then I'm speaking with another gentleman who created some leadership and development training materials for the U.S. Congress Library. And he's trying to sell them because all his peeps are dead or, old and retired.
Okay.
And I want to acquire that and put that into an e-learning program, because what it does is it teaches C-level executives how to integrate, communicate, and form relationships with their bottom tier employees. That's the way of the marketplace as it's running right now.
Sure.
I mean, there's no more, executive teams. It's all about directors and leadership things and things like that. So, and I've already been kind of approached by an investor in New York, but I mean.
And this is all since December?
Yes. I'm telling you, it's insane how fast this has been going. 2 weeks it took me to hear Gary Vaynerchuk talk before I was like, that's it. Done. Let's go into business. And you know what the best part is? I've still only spent 99 cents.
That's impressive.
Right? That's what my mouth will get me. And I have, this passion about it, and the concept, it works. Like, it's not just a bunch of BS and just some idea. Like, it really will work like this.
All right. Can I ask you a serious question though?
Yes.
Like, are you actually having money come in? Are you actually paying the bills with this now?
No, not quite paying the bills yet, but yes, I mean, I am making money. I have my business account open. I've got my first 3 clients that have paid me. I offer right now, I'm offering my service at a 40% discounted rate in return for allowing me to use their company as a case study and then for recommendation.
Sure.
So yeah, I've made money. I mean, is it a ton of money? No, it's like 900. But shit, that's freaking good for somebody who just thought of this and made it happen.
For sure.
But what I'm really focused on, especially for being able to pitch this to investors, is to create those networked out connections as like a prototype. And so those are in action like right now, but they haven't been paid yet. So I figure as soon as I get 1 month of actual financial transactions in my account, I can use those numbers and just integrate it into the algorithm to project a company, value.
Sure.
But it's really hard to determine what your company value is going to be when your company, first off, lives in the future. Second off, it's based on forward projection models and not looking at last year's sales. And there's not a whole lot of like competition that does this that I can be like, oh, well, it should be similar to what they do, because it's got so many different pieces to it. But there was this book written by Cognizant that was released last year, and it's called Code Halos. And it talks about, for the first time, I think ever, it puts all the information that, like Amazon, Netflix, and Google and all them, how they became those top 5 companies by processing this data and then using it against you with, the targeted specific marketing campaigns, puts it into words of how it works. And that book, when I read it, I was like, this is a freaking blueprint for my business. Beautiful.
All right.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. I don't entirely follow everything you're saying, but I am nodding because it sounds cool. I need to read it or something.
Uncommon response. That's really, really not an uncommon response at all.
I mean, it sounds like you're, I don't know what even to say. So you're doing global social impact. That's the premise of it. So you're trying to network with people.
Impact is the brand name.
You're trying to network with people and provide them a service that teaches them how to communicate with on a global scale. Is that right?
No. Well, yes, but no. So it's got 5 different monetization points to it.
Okay.
The helping them create a strategic profile, that's just point 1.
Okay.
Point 2 is, say I submit the strategic profile to them. They love it. They like it. They don't have time to do it themselves. So they say, great, I want you to run it for me. Okay, awesome. Then I will network it out to somebody, to run on a monthly basis, kind of. And that's somebody who's in that area of expertise. You know what I mean? I'm not an SEO genius, but I've got so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so who are.
Yeah.
And so then by networking it out, those people are getting what they need done. And these people are getting work that they might not have had before, kind of like Upwork or like a freelancer unit.
So you're like an agency or
yes.
You're like a social media marketing agency.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the e-learning program is to teach people the value in why this is important, kind of.
Sure.
So then we create that, and then my business partner, we want to launch that via webinars where we just talk about how to create a viral post, how to get people in your audience,
sure.
Be authentic, relevant, everything. And then from there, the next point is to train it via speaking conferences and conventions and things like that. And, just travel around and talk about it, tell people how important this is, like Gary Vaynerchuk.
I got you.
And then the next end all goal is to build this massive web app that will almost act as its own platform, where then it's still a human-based organization because that's how it was created and founded. But that's when the technology takes over. And companies will elect in, kind of, and by electing in, what you're doing is you're allowing me the rights to your data. And upon electing in, though, I have, contracts and stuff in place on everybody's side so that that, yes, you're giving me access to all of your data, but the only thing that I'm going to use it for is to benefit you. Mm-hmm. So you actually are in control of your own data points. And every single transaction that happens, no matter where you are in the world, creates data. And it basically emulates kind of like in a circle around wherever you are, that store, right? So if you can imagine, it's like a halo, okay? And then every time, I'm sure you know this too, with by analyzing, these synchronicities in it, we can tell that somebody who likes chicken noodle soup also listens to Alanis Morissette is likely to shop at PacSun or whatever it is. They make these correlations now and they can prove them.
Okay.
And so when your correlations integrate, you can imagine it's like a DNA strand, right? And so I'm using all of this data in my company profile or in my DNA strand. And then by submitting what it is that you need done, and then using this simple sync technology, I will essentially pull out a list of I'll pull out the vein of the DNA that will be all of your perfectly matched options to help you solve your problem at this time. And that will be done on a global level because it doesn't matter where you are.
Right.
If they've got what you need and they've got it now and they're good at it, there it is. Why do you care? But it doesn't go through any sort of corporate bureaucracies. It doesn't go through companies.
And so once you have your lists of people, that's your target audience to advertise something to, or what is that list for?
Well, no, that list would be a match for a person's project. Okay, so if you can imagine this app, let's say that I'm the company and you're the video genius, right? Mm-hmm. So I post on there, I need a videographer who can edit, take high def, and is available between these dates on a price level that's at this. And you just so happen to already have those qualities in your profile, right? It'll already be listed. Then the computer will generate it and say, hey, these people right here are qualified to do your work.
Gotcha.
And so then on your side, you will see this work then pop up. And it's picked up on a first come, first served basis, like Uber, right? So it's initiative to get in there. So then you accept the project and say, you know what? I'm great at that. Let me work on that project. Okay. So let's say it's I've already sent you the video stuff. I want you to edit it, put it together.
So
then
can I pause for a second?
Yeah.
What makes this different than freelancer.com or something where people are already posting up their, availability
because
work?
It's not just digital based project items. It's anything. For example, I have a connection that is a wood farmer. Basically, he's a big, huge lumberjack, and he lives in the Ukraine, and he's sitting on a massive amount of 5,000 tons of wood, and he's got nobody to sell it to. And he's like, "Hey, help me sell my wood. Help me." I'm like, Psh, I bet you I could find somebody who wants to buy some wood at a cheap rate. You know what I mean? So this is
I got you.
Car service. You need your car fixed? You need somebody to come to you for your car? Type it in. It's not just digital work. It's anything.
And so so you have to obviously, of course, you jump in as somebody that does work, you join the thing, you're like, I'm good at this, I can do this, I live here, this is my rate.
Yep. And then as the work is submitted, only the people who are qualified for it will see it pop up on their list of work to be picked up. It's not just anybody can get at anything. It's only people that are qualified for it will see it. And that's why that first come, first serve starts to bring in a little initiative. Because once you accept the project or the work, then you start on a timer, or you have to show that it's being worked on. Otherwise, the work will just get reposted to the list. And the person like me, I would never even see that it was hit and then dropped and then reposted. I don't need to see that. It doesn't matter to me. That's need to know. So then when you complete the work and you submit it back to me, the person who put it up there to be done, I overview it. And if I want to accept it, then I'm prompted with a review. And I cannot exit out and accept the work without giving a review.
Sure.
Which is how you're more likely to actually get a real review of how the work was done that's accurate. And then from there too, this whole thing is based on numbers. And so there's no room for racism, sexism, gender inequality, none of it, because it's not given any value in it. It's not part of the equation. So you can't say it's not part of that or, that it's biased because it's not.
Sure. Well, yeah. I wasn't even thinking about all that, but I suppose that is part of it. I was thinking of some apps that do what you're saying, but they're more niche. Like,
yeah, they're very niche.
Like,
yeah, Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr.
Was it 99 Designs or something like that? Or is that the design? I think it's 99 Designs. You heard of that one? So it's this website where you can hire a graphic artist to make you a logo or a book cover or a poster or whatever you want. And it's a bidding system. So you write a description like, I want X, Y, and Z. And all these artists submit basic templates. They're like, here's my concept. And you get like 100 concepts. And then you choose, you're like, I like these 6 guys. You are my prime candidates. And then they make it to the next round. And then they make more revisions and more revisions until you finally pick somebody, and then that's your person, and then you hire that guy to make the final output, and then they send it to you. Now that's
a lot of work though for the other 5 that don't get picked.
It sucks, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the thing with my system too. So then if you pick up work and you get good ratings, then there'll be done. You'll get initiatives or incentives and rewards where you'll have access to work earlier than other people, be it 5 minutes, whatever it is. So it'll make people want to get on there and look and be the first one to get it, because you'll get like a special prize. And it's essentially free, because I will just skim pennies off the top of completed transactions.
Yeah.
Free to post, free to accept.
So it's also a lot like like Odesk.
What's Moonlighting app, Jeremy?
I don't know. Let's click it.
I don't know. And Reckless. Hey, why didn't you come in here?
What?
Call up and say hello. Are you friends with him too?
Yeah.
I assume we're friends with all the same peeps because we're all on there.
Yeah. What do you want Blab for then? Get off Blab. I'm driving.
He's texting and driving. You could easily open up Blab and
blabbing and driving and texting.
Talk more than texting.
All right. No more texting. You're driving.
Yeah.
You're just listening on us babbling. All right. I'm checking out moonlightingapp.com. Oh, dang. This sounds very similar to your concepts.
Okay, but how loud are they? Where are they based? And do they have any investors? Because that's the only thing I think I got going for me is that, it's a mastermind group.
Is it loud? It's pretty cool.
No, I'm loud. I'm extremely loud. And like I plan on, as soon as I can get this a little bit further and get that first round of connections going, I'm going to go to Shark Tank or wherever, and I'll go to Ellen DeGeneres. I'll scream from the top of my lungs how I built a multi-million-dollar company from the palm of my hand in my basement in Minnesota for 99 cents.
Sweet. I love it.
Yeah, see, but I'll have skilled labor too, because like my husband's a painter. I put him into business. So it'll be, for anything. Like you want to paint, you need somebody to paint your house. Go, I'll tell you where you get a painter. I gotta make more coffee.
All right. Hey guys, it's just me now. Talking to myself.
You know what though? I talked to myself for a good 25 minutes when I was trying to get people to see where I was because I broke the other link. So
we are not even talking about global snap swap. We totally changed topics here.
We were talking about it when John was on and this other person.
Oh. Now we got it. We got a big crowd.
We were talking about something else.
I like the Moonlighting app. I gotta check that out. I'm always trying to find people to do stuff that I don't want to do. That other people would be better at. Okay, so should we talk about the global snap swap? I think you should. It's your projects.
It is my project. Okay. So what I have created for the Global Snap Swap initiative is this idea of, 50 countries, one day, roughly 5-10 minute snaps from each. I figure I'm gonna break this up into time zones and schedule it that way, where you just basically snap along what you're already doing. You don't have to do anything special. Just, where are you? Are you at home? Let's see your house. Let's see your backyard. Are you on your way to work? Snap on the drive, even though it'd be safe, whatever. Look out the window. Show us what it looks like. If you're in Jamaica, show us what the weather is. If you're in Haiti, let's see, the streets, wherever it is. And just give a little background of what you're doing, where you're at. And then as you like surf through these storylines, it'll be like a trip around the world in real time, from their perspective, from their actual viewpoint, live from the palm of your hand, anywhere you're at.
Sounds cool.
And I think it's a really good way to show the power of these kind of apps, and how, if I can do this from Minnesota and get this going, how on earth could it be anybody that thinks that these are not good, social media platforms to use for business? And I'm not saying that you should get out there and start pushing it or whatever, but I'm just saying, keep up with the trends, follow along with what the consumers are doing, and involve yourself with the consumer by creating a relationship. Because if you're just barking at people or trying to, push selling and it's not going to work. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to see it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if your snaps don't, if we're just talking about Snapchat, if your stories are lame and like they don't interest me and they don't offer me something, whether it's entertainment or actually valuable information that I want to know about, I'm not going to check your story again, and you're out. But if you say something that I like, I'm going to go check your story all the time, and I want to get to know you. And then when you have something, like, boom, you can sell it. But that's getting off topic of your initiative, your project. I can understand the relationship. It's basically an example of how people can work together. I like it. I told you this before on Snapchat. I think it was on Snap. I forget which app I was talking about, but it reminds me of Life in a Day, which was a really unique documentary. I think it's still on Netflix. And it was just people all over the world. They all filmed something that went on that day in that part of the world. And then the video editors just came together and they just edited a project of one single day on Earth of different people. I actually did that concept myself with a very unique community of people. And it's cool. It's awesome. It's a great community bonding experience. It's great. Like, makes you feel human. It's like, yeah.
And I think it really at least in my perspective, it helps put your little first world problems into perspective.
Sure.
Do you really need to be freaking out that your shoe has a scuff on it when this guy over here is, whatever? Or are you really that concerned about who your neighbor is moving down the street when this world is humongous? I think people forget. And I know, like, when I went to London when I was 16 and I started meeting and talking to people, and they'd say, "Oh, you're from the Americas, are you?" And I was like, "Man, what are you talking about, the Americas?" It's like, you realize how young our country is and how much history goes into the world. And I just think that, like, it helped me. I don't care about a lot of little things and little drama. Like, I have no patience for it. And I'm not going to argue with somebody over whether the sky is blue or yellow. I don't care.
It's yellow.
Right? Cool, dude. I love it. Like, if whatever the issue isn't going to affect my life in 5 years, I don't care. You can win. Cool. I'm glad that you feel that way. That's awesome. But I'm not going to sit and waste my energy or time or emotion to argue with you or prove you wrong when it has absolutely no value. So.
Right on. Yeah, I totally agree. It's not worth the energy. Like, a lot of people, everybody loses perspective. Yeah, I totally agree. I can't say anything more. I totally 100% agree with that concept. Here's one interesting stat. I don't know if it's true. I'm just going to make it up, but I think it's true. Somebody told me it once, or I heard on the internet. The average income, I believe, of somebody in the world is something like $1 or maybe $3 a day.
$1, yeah.
Yeah. And so if you make $30,000 a year, which is considered quite low in the U.S., you're part of the 1% of the global economic scale. So even at like 30 grand, like, you are a rich person. And we always forget that, because in the States we're always struggling. We're like, I got to make more money. I can't afford anything, which you can't compared to the guy down the street who's, making double or triple your income. But you're still making a hell of a lot more than you have.
We
a
put
lot
so much
more than
value on what the dollar means, you know, and especially now that the world runs off of the dollar scale mostly because of oil, we give the dollar too much value in our lives, you know, and I think you're absolutely right that, like, I don't need to be, I have a little house. I have 3 bedrooms and I have 3 kids. We don't all need our own room. We do fine. I like it this way. Well, I like it that my boys share a room because they're closer at heart. They get to spend more time with each other.
Sure.
Like we could have ended up buying the bigger house in Ramsey and then had them all separated, but like, no, I didn't want to do that. People thought I was crazy. I'm like, no, I'd rather be in this house and stay as a nice close family unit than, you know, waste a bunch of money and have to hire a gardener or something because I can't mow my own damn lawn. No, forget it.
It's true. Or you could be like me and just get the smallest place you can possibly get, put all your money into traveling.
Oh, if I didn't have kids, I would do that actually. I did that though already, kind of.
Yeah.
When I graduated high school, I went to ASU and I did all my loans myself. Nobody helped me, nothing. And I packed up my car, my little 2-seater car, and all I had was an address and the names of 3 roommates. No clue who they were, nothing.
Yeah.
I drove out to Arizona. And I remember driving by the place too and going, wow, that looks really nice. I hope it's somewhere like that. And sure as shit, that was where I lived. I walked in there. Hi, how are you? What's up? My name's Ashley. You know?
Yeah.
I met so many people. I had so much fun. I went to LA on the weekends. I went to Cabo. I went to Mexico. I drove anywhere I could. I went everywhere and anywhere.
That's awesome.
And I was selling my stuff on Facebook when you still needed a .edu address so that I could rally up more money for the next weekend's trip because I didn't care. I didn't want money for later. I just needed something to get me through today.
Sure.
You know, I had $30 for 2 weeks. I was like, sweet, that's 15 ramens. That's good for at least 2 weeks.
That's awesome. I did something quite similar. I had my 2-seater car too. I bought I got paid like $14 an hour when I was in college, and I thought I was making like hella money. I was like, I'm making way more money than the rest of you guys. I'm rich. I'm gonna go buy a car. So,
I'm rich.
Yeah, so I went and bought myself a Mustang convertible, which, you know, whatever. I'm glad I bought it. I love the car. I dreamed, because I live in Wisconsin, I dreamed of living in California one day with that thing. So eventually, as soon as I graduated, a couple of weeks after I graduated, I hopped in my car and I just drove out to LA. I didn't have a place yet. And I ended up, you know, I got this place with these guys, and it was the 4 of us in a 2-bedroom, and all of us slept on air mattresses for over a year. It's just insane. And none of us had.
I bet it's so fun.
Oh, it was great. I mean, none of us had a job. We were all just hustling and trying to figure out whatever. Like, I helped with like a rap music video one weekend, or like I eventually got some job on Craigslist, and it was the worst. This is recording. It was a great job. Anybody ever
I hate that. Who does this? Somebody goes through and makes people's numbers all 6s. Can you click on mine? I don't like that. I'm serious. The other day I was in one and it was at 666, and I was like, no thanks.
That's funny.
They do it on purpose. Stupid.
Well, I gave you a prop.
Thanks, boo. I remember the very first time that I drove my car to the ocean, and I was standing there sitting on the hood of my car looking at the ocean, and it's just this amazing feeling of like, wow, look at where you went.
Yeah.
Especially when you drive there. When you drive, it's like, it's not that far. It's easy, you know, you can do it. All of a sudden it makes it seem like closer or real, you know?
Uh-oh, look who's coming.
Right? I hope you pulled over, Reckless.
What? Dang, you're fancy.
Yeah, looking sharp, bro.
Thanks.
Hold on.
What's going on?
Getting out of work. This is the everyday attire.
Yeah? This is as nice as it gets for me right here. I'm wearing a shirt with a collar on it.
You know, I'm working towards that look.
Yeah. It's a good one.
I want to be able to relax a little bit. You know, I'm uptight, always doing things.
You're not uptight. You're anti-uptight.
Yeah,
all right.
I am.
All right.
So here's a question for you guys. So I think I said, how did you start your journey in marketing, if any?
Oh, I already told mine. You missed it.
You did tell your story, right? I might have missed it.
I told it. Yeah, I did it on accident, just on LinkedIn, by documenting my trials and errors of trying to get a job.
I think.
That's right. That's right. You did say that, and I don't think I caught Jacob.
No, he didn't really talk about it.
No, I didn't.
He doesn't like talking about his personal life.
So I get.
Like, I can sell you whatever it is, man.
I could sell ketchup to a lady in white gloves. I could sell ice to an Eskimo. I gotta here. No, talk to Reckless. Good. I'm gonna pee. You won't go anywhere.
I'll tell you my story, I guess.
I'm gonna go pee. Okay.
Basically, a few years ago, I wanted to make a documentary. Actually, I made a documentary.
Okay.
And I wanted to find a way to get people to watch it when it came out. So while I built the documentary, or while I was editing it and filming it, I was also building a YouTube channel on the side. And so I was trying to get as many subscribers as I could get, and I was just figuring out the game, like how do you get more subscribers? How do you make better content? How do you tell stories? How do you, do that whole thing? So that when the documentary came out, I had this built-in audience, and I was like, hey, I got this film. And they're like, oh, man. And they went for it. I didn't really think of it as marketing at the time. It was more like storytelling. It's more like, that. And then that just led down the road of social media, and then it led down the road of like, how do I sell stuff on Facebook? I teamed up with a company, and as a videographer, as somebody that creates content, I had to figure out a way to get people to see my content. So I spent time I learned everything I could about Facebook advertising, and I learned everything I could about Instagram, and now Instagram advertising, and then how to tell stories and then get those people excited and then convert over into a sale. And I never considered myself a marketer, but I guess I am doing exactly what marketing is all about at this point. So I guess I'm doing marketing now, but it's just, I never labeled it in that way. It just kind of happened. We lost him. Now I'm just sitting here talking to myself. Reckless, if you can still hear me, you probably shouldn't even be on Blab right now. You should drive, man. I don't like blabbing and driving. It's not good. Uh-oh, Chris is here. Hey guys, as soon as Ashley gets back, I have to bounce because
we lost Reckless. I was listening to you talk too.
Yeah, we lost his connection. I don't know where he went. Hopefully he's didn't get in an accident.
Oh, he's coming back.
I just saw him pop back in. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyhow,
I kind of feel like the same about you. I don't know if I could necessarily call myself a marketer. I like to think of it as digital network marketing. But as soon as you say network marketing, people think
pyramid scheme. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I would love to include you on my launch. As a videographer, as a supplier, as a person available for work. So I'm not sure if you're, locked into.
I'm pretty much a freelancer that just has one primary job.
Perfect. See, because that's one of the people that I'm kind of including. I'm staying away from all people in the beginning that have a corporation behind them, because that's where you start getting lost in laws, and then they want ownership in whatever you've done. And I want. Like, my grandpa invented a few things back in the day, but he doesn't get any credit for it. The companies get the credit for it because he invented working for the company. So I'm staying away from all those people initially because I only want you, or I only want the people who do the work to get the credit for the work.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm not even worried about any of that stuff. I mean, as a videographer, my work speaks for itself. If I need a job, usually if I do a good job, those people just get me more work. It's usually how it works.
Yeah. But this is also like a trend for the future. Sure. So you want to be part of a trend?
I'm a trend creator.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're going to set the next trend. We're going to change the way of the workforce. Here's another thought for you.
Yeah.
When you're hired to do a job, you become an expert at said job. You become a genius at that company. You get laid off from that company. You try to do the same job at another company. And most of the time they say, no, you can't do it because you don't have enough experience, or, you have to, you have to start at the bottom and work your way up. Imagine if you were a designer or a videographer for Macy's, right?
Yeah.
And you worked on this awesome, amazing Christmas project with them. It was great. Project is over. And then, you have to like just kind of have downtime or whatever. But imagine if you could then hop onto the Hallmark train and work for Hallmark over Valentine's Day because they've got a really cool project that you want to have a part in.
Sure.
And so you can just pick where you want to work based on your qualifications and based on your skill set and based on the job being open.
Cool.
No, not just cool, like epic. I'm talking Apple, Windows, all of them, man. There's no reason.
I see your idea working for smaller businesses, for the one-offs, for like the little companies. The big companies, I think that at this point in time, it's already about who you know. Like if you're good at what you do, if you are fantastic as a videographer or as an editor or cinematographer, whatever your specialty is in that particular world, and I'm only thinking about that world because that's the world I live in. Like you get the pick of the litter.
Sure.
Like you get offers all over the table, and you're like, I will do this one, and I'll do this one. That's just a matter of you being the king of the jungle and like you actually being better than everyone else.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I completely agree. But you also got to think you're in kind of like a freelancer position, or you're in one where it is project-based. What if you were in, it's a great example to show for the entire way of the workforce, I think. And that end-all app that I'm trying to build, it's not in full functioning swing and doing great for like 12 to 15 years, realistically. Because for one, it's got to be started from scratch. Otherwise, all the data is already owned by Amazon or Google. And two, I mean, I fight a lot of challenges on the way in, but like think about when my kids have kids and those kids are born never knowing what it's like to not have technology at the palm of their hands from the second they were born.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like things that you could do with that. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So this human-based organization, this human-based way of living and, focusing everything off of relationships.
Sweet.
I think it's going to change the entire way that business is done.
All right. I'm down. 12, 15 years of work. Got it. Just let me know. Just let me know. Just let me know. I have actually, it's 2:00. I have to get going, but just let me know like what you need.
What I need what I'm collecting in the meantime is just like a 2 to 3 sentence snippet about what you do in a picture that'll go on my website when I launch it. And it's mostly just like, hey, look, these are all the people already available around the world.
Cool. Snap me your email address, and then I will send you a 2 to 3 sentence description about what I do, and I'll send you a picture.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, Jacob. It was awesome chatting with you.
Yeah.
I look forward to it again.
It's awesome.
And I'm serious. Talk to your friend in Ireland or
yeah, Ross Cahill. He's all over Anchor. He's a big Anchor dude.
I have talked to him. I do have him on board.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, that's the guy I was talking about. So
yeah, I just have to go back through and like write all their names down and stuff now. So
got it. All right. Well,
oh wait, Chris Gandy. Where's he from? Okay.
Yeah, go get Chris. See ya.
Reckless, are you talking to me? So actually, you're basically I'm a hookup person, and I'm gonna do it myself to start. I'll push it as far as I have to because I already have a big network and a loud mouth. But ideally, as it gets larger and larger, that's when you start putting it into like a system that's going to be built and grown organically. And it'll be really sophisticated and it'll have high security measures so that everybody's protected on each way. And then it'll be done where I don't actually have to be the one to do it because the system will do it for me. But yeah, I'm a hookup person. I'm going to cut out the middleman and hook them up. That's right. I can't hear you yet. Hold on. I can't hear you. There you are.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, so I'm not driving anymore. So for whatever reason, this connection sucks. So I had a question. So here it is. So my wife and I actually it was her idea. She is a manager for Lord & Taylor. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. For what? Lord & Taylor?
Yeah, so a big company, which is Lord & Taylor. I think it's like Saks Fifth.
Oh, okay. Like a department store?
Right. So it's a retail store. So she noticed that there was a gap in what she's doing. So she wanted to develop some training slides and then get herself started that way. She wanted to get other retailers to do the same.
That's a huge entrance point right now. And in fact, retail is one of the hottest places where they have no help and they need help, because as this kind of transition goes on with the technology coming into play, they're going to lose a lot of their potential clients and stuff because people aren't watching marketing and stuff anymore. So tell me what you mean though, create slides mostly for what? Like,
well, it's not really slides, but more like a training place, and start training others in the same arena to get on the same, because she tracks a lot of the loss of what the companies, not only the gain, but focusing more on the loss.
Yeah, well, if you
things
can,
that are being stolen, mistracking items, cutting costs somewhere where where it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
People who are taking
fine-lining
the
the
company.
system.
Come again?
Fine-lining the system and the process.
Correct. And what's happening is that she's noticing that a lot of these training are not tailored for.
They're not setting you up for success.
Retail. They're more concepts, really. Doesn't apply to the real world, just like going for business college. A lot of it used to be training for people who are going into business, but no longer. A lot of it, I would like to say, doesn't pertain to real business.
Yeah.
What you're learning in that business is probably completely 360.
Hold on one second. Hey, I'm on Blab right now. I have to call you back. Sorry. So she wants to create this in regards to put it into like a retail training program to teach retail stores how to train their employees.
Pretty much. And see, and the other thing is too, something similar to what you're doing, like, not really what you're doing, actually.
Well, it's like the leadership and development training, teaching them how to integrate and create you're absolutely right. And I'm working with somebody else too on Anchor, Cognizance Capital. You know him?
Who is?
Cognizance Capital.
No idea.
He does something a lot similar like that. And it's definitely, there's a lot of value in that area. And I know from my own experience, I was a training coordinator for Outback Steakhouse. And I mean, it's a restaurant, but the Outback is nationally recognized for their training program because they have an insanely low rate of turnover.
Right,
and it's because they take a lot of time and energy to train their employees and set them up with the proper tools for success. And then they also integrate rewards programs, incentives, and things to keep them engaged so that they keep moving forward, which then eventually creates, sorry, hold on one second. Which then eventually creates this united family type feel to the company, and it creates loyalty. And so it saves you money, it cuts costs, and it helps increase customer acquisition because people that are happy and talking about where they are happily attracts other happy people. So yeah, hey, I said I'm on a Blab right now. I'm on a live webinar. Yeah. You'll have to let me call you back or get online and watch.
Must be
a lot of my friends are like, you're on a what? What's a Blab?
You're blabbing.
Yeah, I'm blabbing. Where are you? Are you in Ohio?
No, I'm in Connecticut.
Connecticut. Okay. Yeah, I definitely think that there's a lot of areas in there, and she could easily develop an entire business out of that. I like to call them yellow jackets that train the trainers.
Yeah. And that's what I was telling her. It's like, because what was it? See, I'm an expert. Well, I don't want to say an expert. I specialize in emergency management. I do a lot of that. And that's the other thing she's focused on too as well, emergency management, which is focusing on like the Sandy Hook event, focusing on first responders, getting connected with the EMS, EMTs, paramedics, getting in contact with people who are in the state to respond to certain situations like natural disasters. What can we do to get them back to running full capabilities so they're not losing profit in their company. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if a natural disaster happens, how are they prepared for this? Which is kind of something different, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that's the one thing you're losing me a little bit with the Sandy Hook analogy, because I'm assuming what you're saying is that they handled the situation poorly.
They did, big time. But,
and like how? I guess I don't know a whole lot about the actual details behind that, but just give me some examples of like what you're talking about. Like they weren't there, they couldn't come out, they weren't ready, there wasn't enough people, or what?
Well, the response time was definitely a lot slower than they should have. And especially in the event that this wasn't the first time something massive like this ever happened. So we're thinking about places. I'm going to try to come up with an example of like massive shootings. This wasn't the first time we ever heard of it, but it was like one of the worst ones we've heard because of a lot of kids being shot. Things like the Unabomber. How was that response? You know, that response.
Yeah,
it was a lot slower than it should have been. Things like FEMA, things that happen up here in the Northeast, like it's like, what are you doing to prepare yourself to get yourself out of, you know, harm's way, or to do to prepare yourself in case you need to be mobilized and continue working? Yeah,
I see a lot of areas for not only, you know, a new industry kind of in that area, but I think it's really important to focus on problem solving rather than the problem. And I think that the way of the media, and especially a lot of hype, is constantly focusing on the problem and wanting to break down the problem. And how can we solve it? Well, let's break it down. Let it go. Stop talking about the problem, on the solutions.
Right.
Okay? And not just one option, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, and 7 too. Because a lot of times it won't work. And I went to college, actually, and when I went to ASU, I met somebody that was actually in Columbine under the table.
Dude, that was terrible, too.
Yeah, and then his girlfriend was in the middle school at the same time, and she knew that her boyfriend was in the school. And I remember sitting there in Arizona one night and hearing both of them talk about it, and it's insane to think about what it would be like to be in that situation and be so dependent on other people to come and help you. And all those other people, they don't even know what to do or how to help you because they put it on the responsibility of the government. And the government is like, you know.
Well, they don't have the manpower. That's the thing. And the people who are helping are either prior service or already in that field or retired police officers that kind of have an idea how to put these puzzles together. And they left it up to FEMA. They left it up to FEMA to figure this out, and they have it. And with them, they're like, well, this is a lot of work for just us. You know, we're a small entity, given that, you know, it's about maybe 2,000 people who work in FEMA, that we are dealing with billions of people here in the United States as it is. That gap needs to be shortened a little bit. So, like, response time is number one, always response time. And two, what are you doing with yourself in the case of event, whether it be natural disasters, things like man-made disasters, like the Boston bombing. People were like, oh, my God, what do we do? It's like you respond to it. You go head first, see what the problem is. But you also want to be protective.
Yeah.
You got to train people to protect themselves. You know, where do you go in case? It's like, are you looking at all the exits around you? Are you aware of that?
That's a really, really good point, because I said this to somebody else in my car the other day, and she had never heard of it. And it's something that I learned from when I started to learn how to drive. Okay. 16 years old, I got a new car. I'm out there trying to figure out how to drive. And my boyfriend tells me, never, ever look at the road in front of you. And I'm like, what do you mean? Of course I'm going to, no, you should already know what's in front of you. You need to be looking a quarter mile down the road at what's coming. Okay, everything that's in front of you, right in front of your face, you should already know it's there. You should already know who's behind you, who could be coming up. And you need to be looking at what's going on a quarter mile ahead.
Right.
And it was very valuable information. And maybe it's because he rode motorcycles. And, you know, generally people who are in motorcycle crashes, it's always because somebody didn't see them. So you have to be really aware.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I see a lot of potential in this. And I wonder if there couldn't be a way that I could almost tie this into my brand and make it into a massive, national network of responders. Because a lot of times when these big things happen, people feel bad. They feel sad. They want to help, but they don't know how, and they think somebody else is going to do it. Well, that's for these people to do. Well,
how do we get those people to help and be able to be an instrument?
Well, you rally them up. You rally them together. You have these training conferences. You hold these conventions. You do outdoor park events. You bring the community together, and you unite the community with a sense of relationship value in each other, so that they'll have each other's back. I'm like ding, 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 all sorts of ideas going right now. I think
now the question. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can put up the volume. Is that I'm outside, of course. Now I was kind of hoping that she'll get in contact with you, so some way somehow she'll be able to explain exactly what she's.
What's her number? You just give me her number. Maybe you send it to me in a snap. I'll call her.
Yeah, I could definitely do that. But she was like, there's a thing of women, but I was like, all right, I kind of have a dialogue with you already, and she wants to go search for somebody else. But allow me some time because she's pregnant brain right now.
I have had 3 kids, okay? I speak pregnant brain. I speak pregnant brain. I speak pregnant problems. I speak fat problems. I speak hungry problems. I can't breastfeed problems. I finally learned how to breastfeed problems. Oh, hi.
Say hi, babe.
Sorry.
So her name is Ashley. She does the entrepreneur. Help me out.
Hi, my name is Ashley. What's up? How are you?
So I was explaining a little bit of what you wanted to do to her.
Okay.
What's your name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Ashley.
So I'm in Minnesota, and I'm new kind of to all these social platforms, but I'm coming on obviously pretty loud and strong, and I have a really energetic and passionate personality about what I'm doing, which it's really hard to explain on its own because it's kind of like a next generation type business. But I'm still fighting it on and moving forward every single day. And I've brought a lot of support and strategic partnerships already on my side. And I think it's partially because of my personality and my contagious enthusiasm. And I've got a loud mouth, and I'm like a professional people person. I've been a server for over 15 years, and it's not just waiting tables to me, it's an experience. And so I can communicate and have a conversation with anybody, regardless of their statue level or disability or background, and make them feel comfortable, which is kind of like my talent, I guess. So I created my own little business that originally what I'm doing in this first part is I help companies, small business owners, entrepreneurs, whatever, create a strategic online presence so that they can be heard, they can get their word out, they can know the tools to use to make a larger impact. And I mean, I guess that's assuming that whatever the company does is a valuable product. I mean, I can't guarantee anybody money if your product sucks, but along the way of that, I'm very, very passionately about promoting women and getting more women to step into the game, step up, not be afraid to compete in a man's world, and put that relationship value that all women give into action, kind of. So he was just telling me about what you're trying to build up, and I love the concept. I love the idea. I definitely think there's a lot of value in it, and I think one of the big problems about these kind of disasters that happen is that everybody puts it on somebody else. Well, yeah, that sucks so bad, but I mean, the fire department will go and try to get them out, or and whatever it is.
Yeah. The other thing too is for the retail one that I told you about.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, like putting a training plan together, training others to do the same, getting people on board, a centralized system. I say centralized. You say what? It's a system that talks within all of them. One system that talks to all the systems.
It's like a motherboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
She's looking to have a data being pulled So she wants a system that pulls data from different directions. And what she's trying to grasp here is because different states do different things of collecting.
Oh, she's going to be a data digger.
Well, she's going to almost, yeah, it's kind of like that. But what I'm saying is like the data that she's trying to pull in different states. Say, for example, you're trying to do a criminal background check. Different systems in different states do different things. Now, for here in Connecticut, if you pull up, ct.gov, you can look whoever you want. If that person comes up, you'll know how many priors or what.
But all the states don't go by the same rules. I know what you mean.
It's full tank. You sure? Okay. All right. But those are two ideas of hers.
Yeah.
But I'll explain to you that I specialize because of my background in that. And emergency management, because that's something I did for like the past 8 years. So,
well,
yeah, get out of here.
I definitely think I think I can help her. I think I can help both of you, and I would love to include both of you on my website launch too. When I launch the website, it's going to be to pitch investors on this idea of a mass network that connects demand to supply directly. Like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It's going to connect demand to supply based on simple sync data technology and identifying synchronicities in big data and overlaps.
Okay.
And in building it up, partially I have to get this big amount of people, like in a start to be these suppliers to start it. But as it actually is built and I get this first investment, it has to be built organically and from scratch because people have to elect in. And upon electing in, they are granting me, my company, access and rights to their data. And then from that, there's security points in place and protections to guarantee the company that, yes, you are handing your data over to me, but I can promise you I'm only using your data to help you. I'm not using your data like Google is or Yahoo is to find out what you like so then I can sell it to advertisers to target market you. I'm using your data to help you do you only. And so by doing that, you're essentially putting the power of this data in the person's hands. But as it is right now, all the data that's being used in these areas, it's all resourced because it's all collected through something that Google already has or something that this already has. Because to do it, you have to build it from scratch organically to own the data. And I figure as long as I can continue to preach the company's the reasoning behind it to empower people, that I can get a lot of people to come on board onto this. And I mean, your data is going to be out there no matter what. And the way that I see it, privacy is a word that's not going to even exist in 20 years because it's going to have no value for what it means today. There's, I'm sure it'll change a formation or whatever, but as that's going to happen, no matter what, would you rather be in charge of your data and be able to do what you want with it, or have, Google running it for you and handing it out and passing it off wherever they see fit?
Yeah. Well, Google, it's its own. They play by their own rules. They play by their own rules.
Yeah, I know. They've called me twice.
They've been calling me for listing 3 or 4 times, and I'm like, and then I get like 4 or 5 phone calls from like different areas of like, no, that's not what I do, but no, you cannot help me with my listing.
Right.
It's like, who are you? Why are you asking?
Dude, I had like the same thing happen a while back, and he was being real kind of talkative and nosy a little bit, and I was not laying everything out for him, and he's like, but what do you do? And I'm like, well, I network. Yeah, but what do you do? And I'm like, wait, who are you? Why are you calling me and asking me a ton of questions and like giving me the third degree at 11 o'clock at night? You know what I mean?
Yeah, those are scammers.
Well, whatever. I mean, I'll call anybody out.
See, my thing is you're doing a great thing for having 2 people connect with each other. My only thing is and it's probably going to be a personal question or along the lines of personal, right? Because I heard you say you're skimming things off the top.
Oh, that's at the end. I've not made much money yet at this point, but that's in the app.
Yeah. But I say anything could be possible.
Right. Yeah.
Really. Let me get my dog.
So what's your question?
Oh, my question is, can you fit yourself in this in helping our ideas? Because starting the business is one thing, like all the paperwork I already know how to do. Meaning like
become an LLC, become whatever it is. Yeah.
That's not what you're looking. How can you fit on what we're doing or she's doing? So besides connecting, I think I'm asking the question. I think you answered the question.
I don't think I.
Connecting us with the right people is what. All right. Nope, got it. Answer my own damn question.
So was it a good answer though, or a bad answer? I don't know how to feel about that.
What? Okay. No. This is perfect. Because when I was asking the questions, I was already formulating my own answer, I guess. So basically, what we're looking for is because once we start the company, not we, but I want to say her. It's going to be her responsibility. I'm just going to be helping along, being the third wheel, maybe. I don't know. Connecting us with.
And will I charge you? No. We could do it as a strategic partnership. I'll help you. You help me. It's a win-win-win.
Win-win?
No.
All
Win-win-win.
Right.
3 wins. 1 + 1 is 3 nowadays.
Wait.
Because I win, you win, and the environment or the community where you're implementing this stuff wins. That's how it's 3. I work with people, and I specifically try to choose my partnerships and the people that I'm working with and investing into win-win-win situations where you're going to help me with what I'm doing, and I'm going to help you with what you're doing. But both of us together are helping our consumer in the end. That's the point.
Okay.
So win-win-win all the way around. Everybody wins.
Okay.
And I mean, that app that it's not even like built or anything yet. I got to find something, but it would be, I think the only way that it would be working really well is if it was free on all ends and free to look, free to search, free to everything. And then upon completing the transaction, my company would like skim pennies off the top, which if you're skimming pennies off of thousands and thousands of transactions, you should be doing just fine. But
right.
Yeah.
You're all right. I get it. Now that I'm looking to see what you're doing, it's more of where do you see yourself fitting in this picture?
Where I see myself fitting in this picture would be, a couple things would have to happen. I think you guys would have to decide a little bit more concrete about what you want to happen in the end. Because I'm really good at helping brainstorm ideas and, like form ways of implementing things and come up with creative options. But it has to be like on the same page. You know what I mean? Like you have to tell me what it is you're trying to get at the end for me to tell you the best route to get there. Otherwise, what I might suggest might be not the same as where you're actually trying to go with it. So like to start with the retail side, I would suggest obviously, coming up with your business name or whatever, creating a Facebook business profile page, and then getting out into your community and starting at like the malls and talking to the stores to see if they would sponsor you or be willing to be in a strategic partnership. So as you kind of like campaign to launch a large launch, you've already got some people behind you that want to take part in this. And then I would probably start it off with like outdoor events or rallies or speaking engagements where you focus more on talking about the value of why this is important. And ideally, the customers and the clients would line up at the end wanting to sign up. So obviously, I mean, everybody's got to make money in life, though. How are you going to make money in this? Where are you going to monetize?
That's where I'm getting. It's like, okay, what I get sometimes with people is like, well, I can figure this out, but are you ready? Do you have an action plan?
Yeah.
well, I can figure this out, but are
Yeah.
you ready? Can you show me what
Mhm.
you have? And that's where it gets tricky because people don't want to pay for things that are regularly.
Dude, I've done everything I've done so far for 99 cents. You can do it, dude. You can do it. My pitch deck is 90% complete, and I've already been invited to New York. And I didn't even pitch this guy. And it's because I provide value in my relationships with people. And my energy and charisma is contagious. So people are like, I don't even care what you're selling. I want to invest in you, though, because I like you. I'm like, really? You like me? Really? Cool. I think you need to figure out. I mean, I could even try to come up with some options for you, but I think you need to figure out how you're going to monetize in this. How are you going to fund it? How are you going to make money? Because
that's the other thing.
The retail side could easily be like a yellow jacket platform where you charge to come into your company, reorganize it, fine line the process of it, and then charge for those services. But in regards to community interaction and things like that, and being emergency responders, that's almost more like nonprofit, like, getting funded by governments or running campaigns to get funded and fundraising options, and then just screaming it as loud as you can to get mass amounts of funding in. But the two are not aligned, unfortunately. You can't do one and the other. It has to be one or the other, or two companies.
Right. She's going to try to do that retail.
I would start there too.
Training.
I would start there. Yeah, I would start there, and then I would incorporate the emergency responder stuff into part of the company's value system and morals of why they're doing what they're doing. Like Simon Sinek says, find the why.
Right.
I would incorporate that into your why. And then ideally what would happen is your companies that you've gone into and helped and have seen improvements and can, kind of vouch for your services would then likely want to volunteer to be in those parts of, to also feel the same. And then rally up kind of these organizations or, like a Facebook group where there's nothing to get out of it. There's no monetization scale. It's just a bunch of like-minded people. And then once you have a large enough group of like-minded people, you can actually start throwing events that are covered by media and news sources. And, the only way to be relevant in my mind in the future of the business world is to be in people's mouths. If you're not in somebody's mouth, you're not relevant at all. You have to be in their mouth. They have to be talking about you. And to get into people's mouths, you have to get into their heart first. So by starting with their heart, the rest just follows.
Emotions.
It's emotional intelligence, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Does that sound good or what?
Yeah, it does.
This is just me, man. I've been doing this and doing me to all my friends for years, and I never really realized, I think, that I could probably make a career out of it. So I'm trying to push that, but I'm not like a genius or anything. I'm not trying to tell anybody I am, but I feel like I have a lot of really good ideas, and I've got plus I've got the energy to do it. Nobody else is born with this much freaking energy. I tested 100% extrovert on the Myers-Briggs personality test.
Extrovert. They did this study on whether you're gold or something. I care a lot about people's feelings. But I don't know about if I'm an introvert or extrovert. I may seem like an extrovert, but really I collect myself when I'm inside.
Yeah, see, I don't do much of that. I'm more like try to pick up the mess after I already messed it up because my big mouth went in and spoke my mind.
Big mouth, man.
You know what though? You should. Do you know who John Hungerford is? John Hungerford, out of Australia. He one of the first conversations that I had with him, he's all about the collective consciousness mind and, like self-awareness and stuff. He's a big Gary Vee fan. But one of the first conversations that I had with him, he did like some sort of star analysis or something based off my birthday. And it's more just like a hobby. It's not anything he does for a living. But when he came back, there's like 4 different kinds of people in the world and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm one kind of something, but he said, but this one part of me is really strange that they intertwine. And he's like, that's what kind of makes you stand out a little bit, because it's like either you're like the love languages, you know? Yeah.
I've heard
you're
of that,
either
yeah.
like a people pleaser, or you're a people responder, or you're like a go-getter or something. And I said, well, I think that I'm a go-getter. I'm a make shit happen person. And
right. You don't take no for an answer, and if you don't have the answer, you figure it out.
And
you'll always, even though you won't say what you don't know, you just say, "All right,
let's call them up. Who's got the answer? I'll find out. You got their number?
There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
I'm a make shit happen person. Yeah, definitely. But it was surprising to me because he told me in the end, he's like, it's really weird to see those two interactions together. And he's like, that's a really cool quality. See, that's why I'm pushing this so hard. That's why I'm following a passion that I believe in. And, you know, putting my heart and soul into it, sacrificing time with my kids, putting my serving job on the line and stuff to follow a passion of mine, because I believe I can do it.
Right.
Half the reason I believe that now is because so many other people told me they believe in me and they believe that I can do it. And I'm like, really? You think so? Well, shit. All right, let's do it. Let's do it then.
That's a good thing.
It's exciting. It's really exciting.
But hey, let me reach out to you in a little bit. I'm about to get settled in here, but it was definitely a pleasure.
I'm glad that we finally connected too. And have your wife or call me sometime. And you know, like I won't take over anything either. And if I would love to bring you guys under my brand name, but my brand is all about putting you to work doing what you want to do. So it's not like I have no ill intentions. I've got, like contracts in place on everything. So you'll always have ownership of your product and your idea and your company. I'm not going to take it over or anything. So you can trust me on that.
All right.
Cool. I will send you a snap too and hit you up with my number. So.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. I gotta get on this and go on somebody else's now, I think. So.
Go on somebody else's
Blab. Nobody wants to come on mine. I mean, I got some people, but not a whole lot.
Talk to you later.
Bye. What about you, Shaq? I am Abdul Shakar. Are you in here right now or what? Award-winning entrepreneur and speaker. I recruit and develop millennials, specializing in Greek. What is this? Specializing in growing client service business. Yeah, it sounds like we would have some things in common. That's cool, dude. It's very cool. Are you still in this room or what? Let's chat. Otherwise, I'm going to close this out. Celebrity concierge. Yeah. There's this concierge company in Australia, and that's basically what I'm going to do. But I'll be a human concierge. Hey, Ashley K. Hey, Chris Kitty. Where'd you go? This looks like trouble. Hey, Abdul, are you in London? I love the concept of what you're doing. It's like humans of New York on a global scale. Yeah. I don't really know what that is, but I think I heard about something about that. I'm going to go on and just start taking over a bunch of other blabs and say, hey, you got any foreigners in there? Because I need some beeps. Abdul, where are you? I'm just reading all your comments. Are you going to talk to me or no? Because I'm going to get out of here if you're not going to talk. Come on, those are some awesome remarks that you got going over there. Yeah, I think it is good quality advice, and I have an awesome way to persuade them because I have a very, very proper protection contract in order so that they know what my intentions are and what they're going to do. Where did that link go? Here it is. Where'd it go?